Hello and welcome once again to Region Weather Live, your YouTube streaming source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. I'm meteorologist Brad Werner, and getting a look into it right away. Folks, we already have a winter storm watch in effect out for the western parts of North and South Dakota, and that's effective from Saturday morning at 1 a.m. and ending at Sunday at 1 p.m. out ahead of this big Colorado low that's expected to come out and affect our region through the weekend. Thursday will be one of our quieter days as some lower clouds spin around the backside of that low pressure system that affected our region on Wednesday. And then we got some higher clouds moving in from the west through the late morning hours and into the afternoon. And that's the beginning of the storm, folks. This is the moisture starting to work its way in from top to bottom. That's going to be affecting our region by this weekend. And we're going to have plenty of warm air and moisture working its way into the system, and just already causing some rain and some snow showers across the region Thursday night. This is around midnight Thursday night, early Friday morning. And as we move this along and we get into that 1, 2, and 3 a.m. time frame by Friday morning, we begin to see the precip increasing across north central and northeastern parts of North Dakota. Going to start out as a good mix of rain and snow and maybe even some spotty areas of some freezing rain and sleet as this starts to develop. Now, this colder air does get pushed northward, and we get some more rain and drizzle and fog start to develop down in through South Dakota and southern parts of Minnesota by early Friday morning. Now, as we move this along and we go into the mid-morning hours, continued increase of rain, and you notice the colder air now has moved off to the north and east, so we get rid of the snow, we get rid of the freezing rain, and all we're left with is a big area of rain and drizzle and just some scattered wetness throughout the day on Friday, especially in the eastern parts of Dakotas and through Minnesota. Now, the one thing you're not really seeing on the backside of this, or behind where you're seeing all this precipitation, is in the western parts of North Dakota. There is still plenty of low-level moisture in through here, so they could also be dealing with some lower visibilities and some fog throughout the day on Friday, especially through Friday morning into early parts of Friday afternoon. As we get into the later Friday afternoon hours, continued rain and showers and drizzle out ahead of this. Right down here is a pretty strong warm front that's going to be making its way northward and really increasing the temperatures throughout the day on Saturday, and I'll show you that in just a bit. Now, notice also closer to this low pressure, some rain and thunderstorms begin to develop out here along the Black Hills and into northwestern parts of South Dakota, and that's also going to be working its way to the northeast and going to be some of the catalysts for some freezing rain and some snow in through western parts of South Dakota and North Dakota Friday night. And here, as we switch over to another model, we can see those showers and storms developing in western parts of South Dakota overnight, Friday night into very early Saturday morning. You can see that moisture really begin to explode into North Dakota with the rain out in the central and eastern portions of the state. And then we're getting some freezing rain developing in between that transition between the rain and the snow. We're getting some freezing rain, and then it turns over to snow on the backside of this. Now, here we are around 4 a.m. Saturday morning, and you can see that snow begins to increase across western parts of North and South Dakota. Some of the snow, especially as we get into late morning, Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon, is going to be heavy, moderate to heavy at times, especially west of US 83, down across the western portions of the state and in through central portions as well. And then again, we're still going to have some of that freezing rain possible in between. Now, we're also going to be having some strong northwest winds associated with this. So once we get maybe some freezing rain in with this, we're going to have to watch the possibility of maybe some power outages with this as well. That's something else to be mindful of. And something else we got to be talking about here is the possibility of some stronger thunderstorms. Now, here you see the warm front across central parts of Minnesota, and then the cold front kind of lagging back and through there. And you see the temperature differences there are quite different, or quite strong. It's 60 degrees south of that line, and once you get north, you're starting to get to the low 40s, so a 20-degree difference. Now, that warm front blasts to the north, so some areas in north central parts of Minnesota maybe could see 50s for highs throughout the day on Saturday, later in the day on Saturday, as that warm front, that strong warm front moves to the north, and possibly in the center of that low, kind of around that triple point of North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. We're talking maybe in the low 70s, and then 70s and 60s throughout southern Minnesota, with some 60s and maybe some 70s down and through southeastern parts of South Dakota as well. And that temperature difference is what's going to be driving some of those stronger storms right in through here. These temperature differences is really what causes some of the severe storms or strong storms. So that's something we're going to have to be watching throughout the day on Saturday, is the possibility of some stronger storms. And even in a bigger transition zone in between here, still we're looking at the possibility of thunderstorms, which could drop a significant amount of rain in some areas. And also, with all the rain and thunderstorms possible out ahead of this across central and eastern portions of North and South Dakota, mainly through eastern portions of North Dakota and in through northwestern portions of Minnesota, we're also going to be thinking about the possibility of some overland flooding. Now, there's plenty of snow out there, and especially in urban areas where that snow is probably plugging up the storm sewers and the rain's not going to be able to go anywhere. Some of these areas are going to be picking up possibly up to 2 inches of rain, especially in some thunderstorms where they could drop down some heavier precipitation, some heavier rainfall. So if you get a good storm overhead, you could see a few inches of rain. So I would think within these areas in particular, we're going to see the possibility of some overland flooding, especially in urban areas, and maybe even in some rural areas as well, as some of those culverts might be plugged up. And not to mention, you're putting 2 inches of rain over top of 12 or more inches of snow. That's a lot of water to get rid of. And that's also going to be a possibility in through central parts of the state as well, at least in the beginning on early Friday or later Friday into Saturday, right before this turns over to rain or freezing rain and snow. You're also going to be putting on some rain on top of a lot of snow, and that moisture's got to go somewhere. So just be mindful that that's also a concern with this storm. Now, here we are late Saturday afternoon, a lot of snow in through central and western parts of North and South Dakota, reduced visibilities, strong winds gusting to 45 miles per hour, possibly greater. Here we are Saturday night around midnight, early Sunday morning, and that snow begins to move to the east, and that low begins to move off to the north and east, and the reduced visibilities and the strong winds begin to push into the valley region of North Dakota and in through northeastern parts of South Dakota as well. So it looks like by early Sunday morning, this system will be affecting eastern portions of North Dakota with some reduced visibilities and some hazardous travel. And then throughout the remainder of the weekend, this low continues to move off to the northeast, and we're going to have plenty of stronger winds back on the backside of this throughout the day on Sunday, as these isobars are still pretty close together. So we're going to have plenty of strong pressure gradient, which means plenty of wind throughout the day on Sunday, gusts of 45 miles per hour, possibly greater, across much of North and South Dakota and into Minnesota. Now, as we move that low pressure on out, it looks like it carries a lot of the snow with it, obviously, and the winds begin to lighten up, mainly later in the day, Sunday, and more so Sunday night and into Monday. How much liquid water are we expecting with this storm? Well, plenty of it. Now, as we looking through these purple areas, anywhere in there is going to be over an inch. And as I said, some areas through eastern parts of North and South Dakota and in through northwestern parts of Minnesota could pick up a little more as some thunderstorms develop. Actually, we'll include western parts of Minnesota as well. If a good thunderstorm develops, I mean, we could get up to 2 inches of rain pretty quickly. This is more of a general estimate. So a lot of areas could pick up another inch of liquid precip of rain. And then as we get into these red areas, we're looking at the possibility of another 2, maybe even 3 inches of moisture associated with this system. The amount of snow expected. It looks like the western parts of North Dakota and through northwestern parts of South Dakota is where it's going to be hardest hit with this, where we're talking over 12 inches of snow, 12 to 15 inches right in through that region, maybe an isolated 20-inch in some spots, but right now we'll call it 12 to 15. And then these areas in the purple are more in that 8 or greater amounts. And then once you kind of get out into the lighter blues and such, is where you see more the 1 to 3 inch mark, and then maybe some 4 inches in through here as well. So, and this obviously comes a lot later. This comes more late Sunday into Sunday night time frame. So a lot of things to think about out ahead of this next storm that's coming through, with plenty of wind, plenty of rain, thunderstorms, snow, freezing rain. We've got everything involved with this one coming through over the weekend, over the next 3 days or so, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and finally on Monday it moves on out. Please, as always, hit the subscribe button down below. I need 5 more people before I hit 100, and that would be great if I could blast past that. Thank you for everybody who helped me out. I put out a call earlier for more subscribers, and I definitely got a lot. So just a few more people, and I would love to cross that 100 mark. I sure do appreciate everybody who has done so already. And as always, please leave a comment down below, especially if I don't know you. Let me know where you're watching from. That also helps me out. For Region Weather Live, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner. Have a good day.